Have you ever left a family dinner feeling like you just survived a war zone? Your hands are shaking, your stomach is in knots, and you're replaying every hurtful word on the drive home. Here's something that might surprise you. The families who seem the calmest aren't the ones who never argue. They're the ones who know exactly how to fight fair. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 battle-tested strategies that can transform your family's worst arguments into productive conversations. Why does this matter so much? Because unresolved family conflict doesn't just disappear. It festers. It shows up as resentment at holidays, silence at reunions, and wounds that get passed down to the next generation. If you're tired of walking on eggshells around certain relatives, this video is for you. Before we jump into the strategies, let's talk about why family arguments get so toxic in the first place. Unlike disagreements with coworkers or friends, family conflicts carry decades of history. Every argument is layered with old wounds, unspoken expectations, and roles we've played since childhood. Think about it this way. When your sibling criticizes your parenting, you're not just hearing their words today. You're hearing every comparison your parents ever made between you two. That's why family fights escalate so quickly and hurt so deeply. The emotional stakes are simply higher. Now, let's get into the first strategy, and honestly, this one changes everything. It's called the pause rule. When you feel your heart rate spike during an argument, that's your cue to stop talking immediately. Here's why this works. Neuroscience shows that once we're emotionally flooded, our rational brain essentially shuts down. You physically cannot have a productive conversation when you're in fight or flight mode. So instead of pushing through, agree with your family members ahead of time on a simple phrase, like "I need 5 minutes," that signals a pause without anyone feeling rejected. During that pause, do something physical. Walk outside, splash cold water on your face, or take 10 deep breaths. This isn't about avoiding the conversation. It's about returning to it with a brain that can actually problem solve instead of just react. Moving on to the second strategy, and this one might be the most underused tool in family communication. It's called the I statement. Instead of saying "you always ignore me," try saying "I feel unheard when my ideas get interrupted." Why does this small shift matter so much? Because you statements immediately put people on the defensive. Nobody wants to be accused, even if the accusation is true. But when you speak from your own experience, you're much harder to argue with. Let's look at a real example. Imagine your mother constantly comments on your career choices. Saying "you never support me" invites a defensive rebuttal. Saying "I feel discouraged when my job gets criticized" opens the door for actual dialogue instead of a shouting match. This is the critical part, so pay close attention. I statements only work if your tone stays calm. If you say the right words with a sarcastic edge, your family will hear the sarcasm, not the message. Practice saying these statements slowly, almost like you're thinking out loud. Now let's talk about strategy number 3, which is active listening. You might be wondering, isn't listening just staying quiet while someone talks? Not even close. Active listening means reflecting back what you heard before responding. Here's a simple formula you can use immediately. After your family member finishes speaking, say something like, "So what I'm hearing is that you felt disrespected when I canceled plans last minute. Is that right?" This does 2 powerful things at once. First, it forces you to actually process their words instead of just planning your rebuttal. Second, it makes the other person feel genuinely understood, which lowers their defenses almost instantly. Research on conflict resolution consistently shows that feeling heard reduces aggression far more effectively than winning an argument does. But wait, there's more to this strategy. Active listening also means resisting the urge to fix the problem immediately. Sometimes family members just need to vent before they're ready for solutions. Jumping straight to advice can feel dismissive, even when your intentions are good. Let's move on to the fourth strategy, and this is where a lot of families struggle the most. Setting boundaries. Many people confuse boundaries with punishment, but they're actually acts of self-respect and, believe it or not, acts of love. A boundary sounds like this: I love spending time with you, but I won't discuss my marriage during family dinners. Notice this isn't a threat or an ultimatum. It's a clear statement about what you will and won't participate in. Here's where it gets interesting. Boundaries only work if you enforce them consistently. If you say you'll leave the room when the conversation turns hostile, you actually have to leave. Otherwise, your family learns that your boundaries are just suggestions, and toxic patterns continue. Some family members will test your boundaries at first, and that's completely normal. Change feels uncomfortable for everyone involved. Stay firm but kind, and over time, most families adjust to the new normal you've established. Now for the fifth strategy, which might be the hardest one to accept. Sometimes the healthiest choice is choosing peace over winning. Ask yourself honestly, does this argument need to be resolved right now, or does it need to be resolved at all? Not every disagreement requires a conclusion. Your uncle's political opinions probably aren't changing during Thanksgiving dinner, no matter how compelling your argument is. Recognizing which battles are actually worth fighting can save you enormous emotional energy. This doesn't mean staying silent about things that truly matter. It means being strategic about where you invest your energy. Save your strongest boundaries and firmest stands for issues that genuinely affect your well-being, not every minor disagreement that surfaces at family gatherings. Let's talk about warning signs that indicate a conflict has moved beyond what these strategies alone can fix. If arguments regularly include threats, name-calling, or physical intimidation, that's not a normal family disagreement anymore. That's a pattern that requires professional intervention. Family therapists specialize in exactly these dynamics, and Therese absolutely no shame in seeking outside help. In fact, families who attend therapy together often report stronger relationships within just a few months. Think of it as hiring a coach for your family's communication skills, not admitting defeat. One more thing worth mentioning. These strategies work best when practiced consistently, not just pulled out during a crisis. Consider having a calm family conversation about communication styles when everyone is relaxed, maybe during a car ride or while cooking dinner together. So let's bring this all together. We've covered the pause rule to prevent emotional flooding, I statements to reduce defensiveness, active listening to make people feel heard, healthy boundaries to protect your peace, and choosing your battles wisely. Family conflict will probably never disappear completely, and honestly, that's okay. The goal isn't a perfect, argument-free family. The goal is building the skills to disagree without destroying your relationships in the process. Start with just one strategy this week. Maybe it's the pause rule during your next tense conversation, or maybe it's finally setting that boundary you've been avoiding. Small, consistent changes create the biggest transformations over time. Your family's dynamic didn't become toxic overnight, and it won't heal overnight either, but every calm conversation is a step in the right direction.